Welcome our guests. Let me welcome the special guest from Poland today. Here is Magda and Ariel from Poland Patient Organization. And of course, I would like to welcome you, the followers of Facebook page of Slovak Crohn and also of Polish Patient Organization. And of course, I hope that there are some more people from various countries watching this, so welcome. I'm very happy that I'm here today together with Polish Patient Organization. So Magda, welcome and please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Magda and me together with Aria are going to represent Polish Association supporting people with IBD Jotelita with headquarters in Warsaw, Poland.
Okay, thank you very much. Ariel, nice to see you. So please welcome and if you can tell us something about you.
Okay, welcome everyone. I working at hospital. I'm a clinical pharmacist and I working as a coordinator of the biological treatment in inflammatory bowel diseases on our gastroenterology ward, and I connected with the Association of Jotelita in Poland.
Thank you very much. So please, when we can start, of course, this situation with COVID-19 is not very pleasant for anybody, and not even for us IBD patients. I know that myself and Magda, we are IBD patients. Fortunately, Ariel, you are not, but you are in the close relationship or contact with IBD patients. So first of all, let us start with the numbers. So for today, I have checked the official website, and nowadays we have more than 2 million people or cases with COVID-19 worldwide. So in Slovakia, of course, the number is a little bit lower, or yeah, so it's like 1,384 cases, which is still quite good because we have 5.6 million citizens. What I'm happy for is that recovered people in Slovakia are 423, but of course there are also some deaths, and the number is 20, so 20 deaths. Please, can you tell me about these statistic features from Poland, please?
Okay, so I checked today's statistic, and in Poland we have 12,089 people infected with COVID-19. 507 people have died. In hospitalization, we have 2,954. Was treated is around 2,700, and in quarantine we have almost 83,000 people in home quarantine. So this is our Polish statistics, so this is a little higher than Slovakia.
Okay, what about IBD patients with COVID-19? Because in Slovakia, fortunately, we don't have any official number that IBD patient is infected by COVID. Is it the same or not in Poland?
In Poland, it's the same. We don't have official numbers, but we're speaking in our hospital, etc., and they don't tell any one cases. Yes, so probably now it is the zero, or we don't know about it.
Okay, and maybe if I can come back to that, which is not very nice things to talk about. But generally, people worldwide, they are not people, but now IBD patients, they are worried that, okay, so if IBD patient was infected or if any other patient was infected, so definitely they died because of COVID, which is not true, because we know that from statistics, a lot of people, unfortunately, who died, they had some other diseases. So we can't, blame only COVID-19. So do you have this information, or are you aware of some other statistics?
Okay, so in Poland, we get the information about the age of the patient was died, about the sexes, and only we get the information that, okay, so these people have other diseases and this don't have comorbidities, yes, but we don't know anything about these diseases.
Okay, good. Okay. when we come back to IBD patients and mainly the patient organization, where Magda also works, let's say, I would like to know also about some basic descriptions. So maybe when were you founded, how many members do you have, etc.
Yes, we were founded in 2005. So this year we are going to celebrate our 15th anniversary. We were supposed to have a huge celebration, but unfortunately it was cancelled. But we postpone it to the later time, so we will celebrate it. We have around 3,000 members, while the number of patients in Poland, of IBD patients, is around 15,000 of Crohn disease patients and 45,000 of ulcerative colitis. But those are not the official statistics because we don't have the official statistics. Those are the approximate numbers.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Just one more thing. So you said that unfortunately the meeting, let's say, or the celebration has been cancelled. So what about some other activities you do nowadays due to COVID? And of course, the other activities you do generally when there is, let's say, no COVID.
Yes, we are the biggest Polish association, and in fact, we are very active. Normally what we organize are, first of all, the congresses about the IBD for patients, consultation points at the hospitals, rehabilitation summer camps and the winter camps for adults and for kids, celebrations of the World IBD Day, also the celebrations of the Children's Day and the Santa Claus Day at the hospitals. We give donations to hospitals, but we also support financially our patients who face financial difficulties. For now, what we do, because our activity is very limited, we try to support our members via telephone, email, social media. We also organize for them free of charge psychological consultations. And of course, we provide the information that are available in the internet from official resources.
That's very nice. You are doing really a lot of activities. So definitely congratulations to this opportunity to be in touch with as many IBD patients as possible, because we know that this is what we really need nowadays, to be in contact and to share our even positive and negative days, let's call them. Good. Are you also in contact generally, as you said, in social media? So can you just tell me very briefly what kind of information do you provide to IBD patients?
Yes, the main problem, in fact, was at the beginning of the pandemic period, because people or the patients were lost. They weren't sure whether they should stop taking their medicaments, especially immunosuppressants, whether they should continue their biological treatment. So they were asking what to do, what they should do, if it's safe to go to jobs, or it's better to ask for home office. So those were the information they were asking for, and we were trying to provide the information to them.
Yes, so I must say that the situation is very, very similar, actually also in Slovakia, because mainly actually at the beginning, because our IBD patients were also a little bit stressed and they didn't know what to do, let's say. Of course, they stayed in contact with their IBD centers and gastroenterologists, but still it was a little bit of panic here, and they wanted also to lower their medicaments and so on. But fortunately, we are also here for them to provide this information and also to share some official information from Slovak Gastroenterological Association and of course the Ministry of Health, etc. So mainly when I compare, let's say, the activities you do, of course we do a little bit same, but we also try to publish one, let's call it magazine for IBD patients. But I heard that also you publish some.
Yes, I forgot about it. Now when you mentioned this, it reminds me that of course we also publish our magazine Kwartalnie Giotelita, but also we have lots of guidelines for patients that we publish, and they are distributed for free to our members, but not only, but to all of the patients, to all IBD patients. And it's nice you mentioned what you are doing, because I was about to ask you about your association. How many members do you have? When were you founded? What are your activities?
Thank you for the question. So we were founded in 1993. So this year is the 27th year. And of course, in Slovakia, the number of IBD patients is a little bit lower. We are having approximately 15,000 IBD patients. In our patient organization, we have approximately 300 to 400 members. And of course, we are also doing various activities, not only for adults, let's say, but also we organized in July the campus for IBD children, which is for now canceled because we can't predict, but it seems that we will not be able to organize it this year, maybe later or maybe next year, of course, but this is like every year. Then we also organize educational seminars and workshops, and also the conference. It is mainly actually in May, because we try to connect it together with the celebration of World IBD Day, which is everywhere in Europe or worldwide, the 19th of May. So for people who don't know the date, so now we just tell you this date. And yeah, so this is mainly the activity. We are also working now on this type of videos, because we have to be actually in touch, more in touch with patients. And this is what really came to my mind, that let's speak about IBD patients, not only in Slovakia, but in other countries, that we can, share the ideas and experience, and we can learn from ourselves, and we can be somehow maybe more in touch and more in contact. So yeah, this is some basic information about our association in Slovakia. Okay, when coming back maybe to the current situation with COVID, so yeah, firstly we started with the general numbers, but please, maybe Ariel, you can tell me, do you have lockdown in Poland? If yes, what does it mean? Because in each country it seems to be a little bit different.
Yes. In our country we have the lockdown from Sunday, 15 March. The authorities closed Poland's borders to foreigners, and of course all Polish citizens can going back to Poland, but they must be subject to a mandatory 14 days home quarantine, and our authorities suspended international passenger air and rail connections, and also suspended small border traffic. So some people working abroad, they can work, and some people from, I don't know, Ukraine or Germany working in Poland, they can't work too. So this is the Polish situation.
Actually, it is very similar to Slovak situation. We came into lockdown 13th of March, so 2 days earlier than you. And of course, the borders were somehow closed, or if you are citizen, so domestic, you have to stay 14 days in quarantine. And can you somehow describe me what was the situation at the beginning, and what is the situation now? Is there any difference? I hope it is.
Yes, it is better now. At the beginning, we have the signals that were lacking the mask, gloves, and disinfectants, but now it is the better. You can buy them, and of course the prices is rising, what is not good to the citizens. But I think that our situation is better day after day. We have closed the forest and parks, but 1 week ago they opened, so you can go to the nature, but you must have, of course, the mask on face everywhere. and you must have 2 meters distance between. Yes, so it is our guidelines, and you must provide this, because if you don't do this, you can pay a really big punishment. So.
Okay, thank you.
But
Yes.
it is better. Yes, definitely it is better now.
Yeah, thanks God. Yeah, this is, but again,
Yeah.
very similar to Slovakia, that also we have to wear masks when going outside, but definitely at the beginning, there were no masks in pharmacies, no masks to order online and so on. But yeah, the situation has become better. Nowadays, we can say that the protective materials or protective masks and disinfection, we have enough of them. On the other hand, in Slovakia, but I think also it is in Poland, you will tell me if not, that many people, they started to make their own masks by sewing them from fabrics and so on. So whatever they found at home or from the cloth. And then even though they tried to distribute or deliver the homemade masks even to hospitals or doctors, just to appreciate their work and to, support them. Was it the same? Is it the same in Poland?
Yes, it is the same, and it is really nice, because we have a few social campaigns that people made masks in their home, and they transferring them to the hospital. For example, many restaurants brings the food to the hospital. Yes, to, for example, emergency ward. So it is really nice. So it is really the same like you.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay, when we are just talking about like protective gear, protective materials, we didn't maybe mention hospitals, doctors themselves, nurses, because they, they need sometimes this special protective overall,
Yes.
and then some, gloves and so on. What is the situation with them regarding the protective materials?
Okay, so it is similar like other people. Yes. So at the beginning, we have a few signals that they were lacking, but now it is improving, and we have enough masks, disinfectants in hospitals. But at the beginning, it was really problematic, and the homemade mask was really good to the hospitals when because of course the doctors need the mask, but when the patients, for example, on the biological treatment going to the ward, they must have the mask too, yes, because it is a lot of people. So now it is good, but at the beginning it was a little problematic. But now we have enough.
Thanks, God. Yeah. I'm just asking because in Slovakia, as far as at the beginning, were no overalls, protective gloves, and masks. Even some surgery or even some colonoscopies, endoscopies, when we are talking now about gastroenterology, were postponed or even cancelled. And now it's starting, let's say, to be again active and to do this kind of surgery again. Is it the same, or how does it look like regarding this?
Okay, so it's hard to say me about the surgery words, but I can tell you something about the gastroenterology. In gastroenterology, we don't start to treating the patient. So if the patient needs help, of course, if the patient have the flare and etc., they can go to the hospital. But to save the patient, we try to minimalization the visit in hospital. So we have the video conference. The doctors can prescribe recipes and drugs on the electronic version, and you can go with the SMS to the pharmacy and get the medication. We stopped doing the plans colonoscopy and endoscopy examination, but now we're starting again. And of course, if the patient needs to have, we do this, but all the safe tools and etc. Yes, so it is similar. Yes, it was worse, but now it's better. We starting to working normally and try to start, because it depends on the hospitals, because we have the hospitals when you know that this is the COVID-19 infection, and we have the hospitals that they are transfers to the infectionist hospitals. So it depends when the patient go. But if the patient needs help, needs biological treatment or colonoscopy, they can get this. So I think that it is similar like you.
Yeah, and that's great that they, not of or not a lot of IBD patients are somehow refused by the doctor and they have to wait. So it's really getting better, and we are thankful for this. Maybe the last question regarding this area, what we are now talking about. So, do you have enough and relevant information and source for information about COVID and IBD patients from the government or from the Gastroenterological Association, or which source do you need, or which source do you use mainly?
I think that the situation is really good, because we get many information from our governments. We have the data about the numbers, and at the beginning I tell you this is the official government data. Of course, we get the guidelines from the Gastroenterology Association, Polish Gastroenterology Association too. So I think that it is good if, for example, the government change something and give you others, I don't know, guidelines. Every people in Poland get the SMS that, okay, from this day, you can go this, or you must take the mask with you. Yes, so you get the SMS. We have the all other information, and it is official. So I think that is a really good situation in our country.
Mm-hmm. I just forgot actually at the beginning to ask you about number of tests. Maybe I also didn't mention it, but in Slovakia we have 5.6 million citizens, and fortunately our Ministry of Health and other government, they have done up to now actually more than 75,000 tests. How is it in Poland?
Okay, I was checking this today because I don't know this data, and in Poland we have 38 million people, citizens, and we do 200. I must check this. It was 297,000 tests. So it is not a big number. Our government said that they want to do the 20,000 tests every day, but to this day we don't do this. Yes, the number is lower, but we're trying to improve this.
I see. Okay. Let's go now back to IBD patients, definitely. So maybe, of course, I already asked Ariel what is the situation regarding relevant information, but maybe Magda, you can tell me what is the source for information about IBD and COVID for a patient organization and generally for IBD patients. So do you rely on the government, or directly are you in contact with doctors, or how does it work?
Yes, it is, as Ariel said, we have official information and confirmed information from the government. But we also have the guidelines from the Chief Sanitary Inspector. But at the beginning, when that started, there was nothing for IBD patient dedicated to them. So we addressed as Utilita a letter to the national consultant in the field of gastroenterology, to the national consultant in the field of pediatric gastroenterology, and to the chief sanitary inspector for guidelines, especially for IBD patients. And when we receive them, we publish them on our website, on our Facebook profile, and also send it via newsletters to almost 5,000 recipients. We also publish information from ECHO, the interviews from ECHO. As Ariel mentioned, we have the guidelines from the Polish Society of Gastroenterologists. Those are the guidelines for specialists, for the medical community, but we share it with patients also. So we do have official information with them. And how about you?
Actually, it is a little bit similar. We get information mainly from the Ministry of Health, but also from the Association to Protect Patients' Rights, which is kind of umbrella association and covers or includes about 50 patient organizations from various fields with various diseases. And yeah, they are providing us really relevant information which we can rely on. And definitely we are also in contact with Slovak Gastroenterological Association and directly with doctors, which is really a great help. So of course, me as the president of Slovak Crohn Club, if I have very even urgent question or very important question and I really need the answer, and of course I'm not like the doctor, so that's why I can really rely on doctors and I can directly ask them, and they're really helpful, so I'm very thankful for this. On the other hand, yes, maybe we can do some more guidelines for IBD patients from my point of view, but of course this is let's say the topic for discussion for more people and more relevant institutions to cover this topic. So I have to work on this, but the situation is very, very similar. Anyway, regarding the IBD patients, also I have the question if if the IBD patient in Poland can ask for any information your patient organization, or if he or she has to come to his or her gastroenterologist. How is it with the source of information for the IBD patients now?
Of course, they are directing us, but they are also directing their doctors, the professionals. One of the clinics based in Warsaw told us that they launched a free of charge consultations with patients for adults and the pediatric patients. So if they cannot reach their doctors, they can consult with them and they will help them. Also, if they need a prescription and they cannot receive the prescription from their doctors, they can help. But first of all, in my opinion, personal, if patient needs information, is the best way to address the doctor, because this is someone that is taking care of us patients, right? And then we are of course them to support, but I think the best way is first of all try to contact the doctor or clinic, but in this situation it is difficult, so the people are addressing us and we are trying to help them as much as we can.
That's great. I just ask only because nowadays the number of calls to IBD doctors or to gastroenterologists have increased, because nowadays we prefer the consulting by telephone, because yeah, we don't have to go to the hospital or to gastroenterologist if we are not sick, let's say, or if we are not feeling bad. So that's why I'm asking. Nowadays in Slovakia, mainly the consultation or the discussion with IBD patients run by telephone. So I think that for the future this is really important, because we can use it for the future and we can learn from the nowadays situations that maybe we don't have to have full waiting rooms and full ambulances, and we can really solve the situation and solve kind of problem even just by telephone, just to ask the doctor this way. Do you think is it the same even in Poland, or do you agree with me maybe?
Yes, we have always huge queues to the doctors, to rehabilitation. If someone gets the date for 2 years, it happens sometimes. So it might be beneficial for everyone if we change a bit this to the telephone consultations. For now, also in Poland, as you have in Slovakia, we have these telephone consultations with doctors, e-prescriptions, as Ariel said. Many people started to use those features because e-prescriptions are on our market starting, I believe, beginning of this year, and many of people didn't use them because they didn't know they exist, they know how to use them, and for now everyone has to. Yes, we have the same.
Good. And what about the IBD patient and the shortage maybe of some medicine, of the biological treatment? What is the situation? Do you have enough medicine, let's say?
We have a few signals that in this problem with mesalazine drugs, but in Poland we have problems before the pandemic with mesalazine drugs sometimes. But now the situation is really good. We don't have problem with other drugs, with steroids, immunosuppressive. Of course, it can be complicated with biological treatment. But of course, we have the biological treatment, but if you must start the biological treatment to the new patient in Poland, you have the government programs. So you must doing the qualification of the patient, and of course the qualification is connecting with the visit in hospital. Yes, so if the patient needs this, of course we qualified it as starting the biological treatment, but it is not a big flare. We're trying to use other medication like glucocorticosteroids. Of course, it is not always a good to the patient because glucocorticosteroids can have a very immunosuppressive effect, and we know that the risk of COVID infection is higher. So it depends from the patient, but now the situation is good, and only we have problems with mesalazine. But today I have contact with the company, and they said that everything is good. Yes, so we don't have shortage or other problems.
Okay, then I'm happy for that. You know, in Slovakia, actually, at the beginning, it was quite a big problem with biological treatment because some IBD centers, they closed, and they just, you know, probably they faced various problems, and they just didn't let patients know, and it caused a little bit of panic, and IBD patients, they didn't know whether they need to call, whether they need to come personally even later, whether they really need the biological treatment right now, or whether they just can, you know, skip the treatment and so on. So really, it was a little bit chaotic, I must say, but thanks God, now it has changed, and IBD centers run, and yes, so biological treatment is now available for like every IBD patient who needs it. And yeah, of course, even some other like immunosuppressants or other treatment or medicine. Yeah, I don't have any information that we have the shortage of this medicine. So it seems, yeah, at least to be positive in this way. Good. Regarding IBD patients and maybe their current, let's say, mood or current needs, what do you think nowadays IBD patient, what kind of information does IBD patient need the most? Let's of course connect it maybe to COVID-19.
I think that in Poland it is really similar. Yes, at the beginning we have the information house. The patient don't know how it will be in the future. Yes, many of patients afraid that we stop treating the biological treatment. Many of patients ask that they should start to taking the immunosuppressant. It's because you have many different information, and it wasn't to be official information or the medical evidence-based medicine, but the patient heard, okay, so the COVID-19 is the infectious diseases, I taking immunosuppressant, so maybe I should to stop this. So we had the same, and it was a panic a little at the beginning, but nowadays I think that the most important to the patient is to have the good information, good official evidence-based medicine information, and to have the contact with the doctors and with the hospitals, because the many outpatient clinic and wards was closed. It means that they are working, but you can go enter. So now, like Magda said, we have many telephone conferences, many consultation with the patient, a prescription, which is really good. So I think that the most important needs to the patient is the knowledge that if you have the flare, if you have the problem, you can get the help. Yes, you don't be alone with this problem. You can go, you can call, you can ask, and you get the help. Yes, so you don't worry about the help, because if you need, you get. Yes? So I think that this is the most important, the knowledge that you are not alone and you get the help.
I completely agree with you, and I would like to also add one important message that yes, dear patients, please follow the official websites and official announcements about generally COVID or generally the IBD patients and their treatment, etc. Because I'm very happy that there is internet and we can, get as many information as we want, but sometimes we can be really confused with the to trust each sort, each information on the internet. So maybe that's why we are here, not only a gastroenterological association, not only Ministry of Health, but also us, the patient organizations, because we can definitely answer some of the questions. If not, we can ask the official websites or official institutions and provide this information. So definitely, I agree with you in this point. And I'm also very curious about IBD patients in Poland regarding the current situation. What are they doing? How they are spending the time? Are they allowed to go outside anytime, anywhere? How does it look like?
Aria, sorry, I interrupt you and your question, Veronica, but I would like to add something to what you just said to your patient, to follow the official information, not to follow everything what is in the internet, because we really can get lost there. Maybe it's like a good example for you what we are doing. We started a special subpage on our website, and we publish there everything what we found, what is confirmed, the official information for IBD patients. So they have everything updated regularly in one place, so they don't have to go everywhere and search for information, not unconfirmed ones. So maybe you can try something like this. It's very useful.
Yeah, thank you very much for recommendation. It seems really interesting that you have to have on the website or one page really just one relevant
dedicated
source.
dedicated to the novel coronavirus. All information in one place, relevant information.
Great. Yeah, thanks. And thank you. And when coming back to my question, so Magda, what are you doing at home? Tell me, maybe you personally and then generally.
Oh my goodness. In fact, I was happy at the beginning. I work from my home office. I have home office. Today I got the information I will work from my home till the end of May. And at the beginning, I was very happy when they told me, okay, Magda, you will work from your home. But for now, I work, and I work, because every day looks the same. There is lots of work, my professional work, Jotrita work, FK work. So there is nothing else but work. And I would be very grateful if they allow me to go to my job, just to split those parts, because I don't have time for anything else. I'm sitting at home, so what can I do?
Yeah,
just work.
And what about IBD patients in general? So do you have any information like, okay, they are doing something special, or maybe some recommendations how to spend time nowadays at home from your point of view?
So the situation, the IBD patient in Poland, I think that it is similar to other people, yes, because in Poland the schools, nurses, and etc. are closed, and now we get the information that until the 24 May there will be closed. So if the patient has children, they take care of the children, of course. We have many learnings, so the students and the children going to school via internet. So many parents must help them, of course. This who can work going to the work, if you can have the home office, you have the home office. So I think that IBD patient situation is similar to situation others people, but of course I think that the IBD patient must remember that the risk is a little bit higher to get the infection. So we must care of you, and you must be really safe in this what you are doing. Everything what it is. Yes, you must be safe and have the protection of yourself.
And maybe I can add that we need to, or we should avoid the contact with other people, not because we want or anybody wants, but yeah, just to avoid the contact and the risk of being infected. But yeah, maybe in Slovakia, a lot of people, even IBD patients, I saw some messages and pictures that we are also going outside, but I mean to the nature, to the places where you can't see you know, a lot of people, so it's not crowded. So definitely the fresh air, the vitamin D, as we hear from each side, is really very important nowadays. And thanks God, in Slovakia we are having very nice weather, sunny and warm, so definitely it's good to go outside. On the other side, we should stay at home in the sense of taking care of ourselves. And you know what, some IBD patients and even members of Slovak Crohn Club, they send me some videos and pictures that they are doing yoga, they are, you know, doing some kind of sports, they are playing some games and activities with the family. So definitely this is probably the time we should spend more with ourselves and more with our families. So let's not, so why not to use it and not to take advantage of it? So probably this is for not even IBD patients, but generally for everybody. And maybe the last question regarding IBD patients in Poland, what do you think? Maybe you have this information from your members, maybe you have it generally from IBD patients. What is the biggest fear of IBD patient nowadays? What do you think?
It depends of the patient, of course, but many of people, not only IBD patient, but every Polish, worrying about the jobs, yes, because patient who works fear that they will lose their jobs because of the crisis. And I checked the data, and in February the employment rate in Poland was 5.5%, but estimators says that it can be the double by the end of the year. So many of people is fear that it will be, when the pandemic will be end. I hope that it will be really really quick, yeah. But okay, so the pandemic will be end, but what our lives, yes, that if we have the job or not. Many of patients, of course, have the fear that I tell you earlier about the treatment, about the risk of infection, and etc. But now many of people working about the jobs, and we have a few signals that from my friends, they losing the job. So it is not a good situation. Yes? So I think that it is the biggest fear, the jobs and the future, how it would be after the pandemic, the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, I again agree, because this is what I heard from our members, from our IBD patients, that definitely we are afraid of being infected by COVID. This is like, of course, the normal fear, let's say. But of course, we are also afraid of losing our jobs. And also in Slovakia, a lot of companies, corporations have closed. A lot of people were somehow fired from the work, and now, they don't have the work. So definitely, this is the biggest fear for each citizen, let's say, in every country. Yeah, and maybe also in Slovakia, with the patients, they're also worrying about their families and mainly their grandparents, because we know that seniors also, this is really, let's call it, sensitive group of people that they can be infected, yeah, easily, maybe. So yeah, it's about the situation is very similar. So maybe we must really just wait until the serious moment is over. Just the last thing from my side, in Slovakia, we have started with lowering the restrictions. So even the 22nd of April, last Wednesday, we started to lower the restrictions. So some shops up to 300 square meters are opened, even some restaurants, but of course for delivering or through some small window that you can ask for the food or a drink, they are opened. Even some sport areas outdoors, but not for the group sport, but only like individually. So now it's a little bit, yeah, getting better. And our government has provided the program of like 4 waves, 4 steps of lowering the restrictions. So we will see, but of course it depends on the number of infected people. Do you have the similar plan from the government, or?
Yes, we have the similar plans, and we have the same situation. We starting to going to the normality. Of course, it is the others' normality, but the restaurants are closed. You can take food, but only to your home, to deliver to your home. The cinemas are closed. The shops is open, but only, one people to some meters. So we have the restriction about the numbers of the people in the shops. We have the 4 steps like you, but we don't have the data. We start the first steps, but we don't have the data of the other steps. For a few weeks, we have closed the forest and parks, but now from the last week they are open, so you can go to the nature. And I think that it is really similar. So now it is going to be better and improving, and we hope that it will be. Yes, so the schools is close to the end of May, to 24th of May. We will see. I think that depends from the number of infection. This is the most important data now.
Definitely, yeah. Great. Magda, Ariel, do you have any question for myself? So would you like to know anything, any special information about Slovakia or IBD patients in Slovakia? Or I think we
already talked about everything.
Yes.
So I don't have from my side.
We are really similar.
Yes.
Our situation is really similar.
This is true. Yeah, I think we have covered all the points. Yeah, generally said to be important for IBD patients, but also to know some overall information and situation in Poland as well as in Slovakia. So let's conclude. I'm very happy to have you here, Magda and Ariel. Thank you very much for being here. Also, I would like to thank each person who was watching this video, and if you have any questions, actually you can put them under the video, and definitely we can answer your questions even about Slovakia or Poland. And yeah, let's stay at home as much as we can, but of course let's go out to the nature, mainly to get the vitamin D, or at least to the balcony, or terrace, just to be healthy and fresh, and to be then ready when will be allowed to go outside and enjoy the life. This is probably everything from my side. So thank you very much, and once again I'm very happy to have you here. and please stay healthy and safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Veronica, very much for your invitation. Maybe I would like to say something else to patients, because I was watching yesterday the video you talk with Salvo, and he said that we as patients are in fact double patient, because we are patient and we have to be patient. So like the message to the people to be patient, everything will get soon better, and we'll be normally stay in social isolation and everything will be okay. Thank you, Veronica, very much. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the invitation. All the best to you, and of course, I wish you health to all the IBD Slovak patients, and I hope see you in future.
Thank you very much once again. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.